Aloha and welcome to the Everything You podcast. My name is Nicole and today I have a very special guest on the podcast and this is Nicole Vassell. So Nicole is a journalist and we actually went to the same secondary school, funnily enough, but we have connected on Instagram and Nicole has been working in journalism for the number of years, worked as a culture reporter for The Independent and now she is working freelance. And so we are going to speak everything fitness, wellness, and career. So welcome, Nicole.
Hi, Nicole. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Thank you so much for coming on.
No problem.
And so obviously in terms of journalism, you have been in the industry for a number of years and you have a really successful blossoming career. So you've started at the Independent and we've done a number of internships up until the Independent. Is that right?
Well, the Independent was my last staff job, but I've been a journalist since 2014.
Wow.
Yeah, my actual first day, I'd say, in journalism was the 11th of August, 2014. So I've got my 11 year is coming up. So yeah, I started as like an internship at the Telegraph, moved around to several places in the years since. So I worked at Now magazine, I worked at Pride magazine, which is not too sure whether it's still around, but
I think it is, you know.
Yeah, okay.
It is, yeah.
The oldest running Black women's magazine in Europe. And then I went freelance for the first time in 2020, which was actually 2 months before everything's kind of turned interesting for the world. So it was a really interesting time to be working for myself and kind of navigate the industry from home for the first time. But that went well for a number of years. I was really enjoying it. But then I got offered an opportunity at The Independent on the culture desk. So yeah, then I moved over to there for 2.5 years. And yeah, last summer I decided to take the leap again and go freelance.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
I love it when people go freelance or they take things into their own hands. And obviously it's a journey, isn't it? And it's, it comes to a point where you're like, okay, I can do this or I have the means to do it. So it's nice talking to people about them taking the jump. And so in terms of talk me through the process, I guess, or the kind of thought process, the journey going from deciding to go into journalism and then making that transition to actually, starting the internships and then actually fully fledged career. Like what kind of
about
led you to
fat, about building confidence. Confidence to apply for the right job, confidence to start dating again, confidence that has people noticing and you feel it too. No more miserable diets, no more feeling stuck, just you taking control of your health and your fitness and seeing and feeling results. DM me, coach me to get started.
Yeah, so I had thought about journalism for quite a while I was at university. So I studied English literature with creative writing. And I was, throughout the course of those 4 years, an extra one because I studied in Germany for a year, the Erasmus scheme. But yeah, thinking about what I do after, a lot of the paths seem to be either PR, marketing, teaching or journalism. They were kind of the most popular routes that seemed to go out of it. And since my first year at university, I was very into the newspaper. And so I was a copy editor on the newspaper for the first year, then dotted around to several different roles before final year. I was the editor of the newspaper, the Stag, the University of Surrey. And it was definitely a challenge doing that alongside final year dissertation, things like that. But I don't know. I think the idea of storytelling and having access to different pockets of life and being able to talk to people and find out more about stuff, basically, I think that was always the draw. And I've very much been intrigued in the creative writing side. So I was like, should I become an author? And all those things could still be to come. But in terms of what I thought a quite clear career path could be to get that storytelling fix would be to go into journalism. So soon after graduating, I applied for an internship at the Telegraph and got it.
Yeah.
And so that's where it really started from there.
And you've worked at such a variety of different places, like different publications. Did you find that you found more joy in some more than others? Because you've done things like with Elle and Red, and to the Metro, to obviously the Telegraph and the Independent. So did you find that you preferred one more?
Yeah, there's definitely a range of places that I've worked, and there are different reasons why you'll enjoy different places. For example, I really enjoyed a stint working across different brands at Hearst magazine. So that was Elle and Red and Harper's Bazaar, because I love the variety and the different opportunities that can be afforded there. At the Independent, I was a culture reporter. So the fact that I was able to be across all aspects of culture, which was TV, film, music, theatre, all things that I really love, books too. I love working anywhere where I can get a variety of opportunities. Because I generally say that I'm a culture and lifestyle journalist, and anywhere that I can get quite a range of things to do, I'm happy.
Yeah, and it shows from your work as well, because obviously we've been following each other for a while and just seeing like the wide scope of things that you do. So obviously you talk about current affairs, but then you also talk about Glastonbury, and then you talk about concerts and things like that, and theatre. And so it's been nice watching you work, essentially.
Oh, thank you.
No, honestly, it's been really interesting. So in terms of fitness and wellness, so you ran the London 10K. Recently.
I did,
was it
yeah.
Last month?
Yeah, last month, July.
Yeah, how did you find that? And what was the prep like for you to run the race?
Yeah, so I signed up to the race, I think in April, because I'd done the London 10K back in 2021. And I've always been a fan of kind of challenging myself and pushing myself a bit further. I think my first race was back in 2017. I did a half marathon. I did the Hackney half.
Right.
And so that was the first time I'd really tried to take on running as something that would be integral to my fitness regime, if I can call it that. But that was the hardest I've prepared for a race, because I think you're going from not running distances at all to 13.1 miles. So that is the most regimented I've been with getting ready for anything. But in terms of the London 10K last month, that one was more of a, you've done it before, you'll be okay kind of preparation, because I tend to not really run too long distances anymore. I kind of will do 3K, 5K, maybe a 6, and then kind of call it a day after that. I don't know, maybe that's a thing of getting a little bit older and just having more things to do. More packed schedule that I don't have the opportunity to really give my all to runs like that. But I kind of went in with the mindset of, I have done 5K recently-ish. That's just doing it twice. It will be okay.
That's a way to look at it.
And yeah, it was okay in the end. It wasn't, I've never been a fast runner, and I've never really prioritized speed. It's just kind of how I feel, like making sure I just can do it, I think. And so, I got to about 7K with this 10K run, and I was like, oh, this is different. I'm so ready to finish. But, it's kind of, I'm very stubborn as well. So once I've started it, I'm like, I'm not going to give up.
Yeah.
So there we go. I feel like it's possible to do that with the 10K. I wouldn't stretch myself and say, I'm just going to run a half marathon.
Yeah, no.
If I do that again, I will train properly.
Yeah. And so how many runs did you do in the lead up to 10K, would you say?
I'd say I run 5K maybe 3 to 4 times a month anyway.
Okay.
So maybe like once a week I try to get out and have like a 35 minute run. And so it's kind of never not been a part of my life a bit. So but I'd had a busy summer before the run, so the last run I'd done before the actual race was about a month before, so I was pushing it.
Okay, yeah, definitely. And I think it's a combination of different things that can happen when it comes to timing. So, you know, you're saying you're doing shorter runs at the moment. And I guess it's like, okay, get out and get it done. You know, if you've got like a little window of time, it's like, I can get out and do a 5K. But to, you know, prioritize time to do a 10K, it's like, okay, I need an hour plus to, you know, get back, have a shower, and all this stuff. So I think that there is that. But I think also it's just setting those times. Like if you did another half marathon, like, you know, that you'd schedule in some
definitely
and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's good.
And that would make me definitely run more regularly as well. And I think it would probably prioritize other things I like to do for fitness, as in I like to go to dance classes as well. But if I were to train for another half marathon, I definitely probably would have to push those aside and get out there and run.
Yeah, definitely. And do you feel like running is your kind of your scope of fitness? Running and dance would be the ones, or are there other things that you kind of dabble in terms of keeping the fitness levels up?
Yeah, so in more recent months I've been getting more into weights at the gym and using machines a bit more. There was a kind of summer plan thing I followed that was online, and it was good to just have something in mind to do at the gym, because I've been going to the gym for several years, but kind of without any, I don't really go with any real goal in mind. But I think once I had a little plan on paper, it was kind of like, okay, so I don't have to go from squats to pulling things on the cable. Like, it was nice to have something that this is where you're focusing today. This is what you're doing the next day. So yeah, that's been quite fun, getting into more weights and things like that.
Yeah, that's I love weights, obviously, as we know. But I think it's nice to have, you know, even if it's like short programs or like short plans, because it just gives you a sense of, okay, this is why I'm going, and this is what I'm achieving. Once I come out of here, I know that I've worked this muscle group, I know that I've done that, and it kind of gives you a bit more of a baseline knowledge of, okay, this is what I'm doing when I'm here. And then there might be things on the plan that you might have been potentially avoiding, you know, doing, because it's like, oh, I don't know how to do that, or I don't know what it's doing, or something like that.
Right.
And so it is nice to have a plan. And I mean, I obviously love having a plan, but I've got a coach myself, and when he changes my program, I'm like, oh, like what is it today, kind of thing. And that's quite nice, and the structure is nice, and knowing that you're working with something makes a massive difference.
Definitely.
And then, okay, so in terms of, so we've covered kind of like the physical aspects of fitness. So in terms of what are the other ways in which you prioritize your fitness at the moment, would you say? So whether that's like nutritionally, mentally, because there's so many different scopes of wellness.
Yeah, for sure. I'd say something that I'm trying my best with at the moment is trying to prioritize offline time, because I feel for work I am always on the internet, and I'm always scrolling and trying to find out kind of what there is to talk about, what I can have an opinion on, and kind of find features out of these things. And as much as it works because I already just am an online person, I feel that I sometimes lose touch of what is actually going on in real life. And I think as well, being on Instagram and also going in towards summertime, there are so many kind of like things that are telling you that this is the right way that you should look. And I think that sometimes will get to you, because, you know, just having comparison everywhere can be very draining and can make you kind of lose confidence in yourself. So I have put a bit of a timer on Instagram, and you'll be surprised how quickly you can run into 2 hours on Instagram on a day. Like, the first time it timed me out, it was only about 1 p.m. So I was like, wait,
so that's
what?
it for the day.
So I'm done. Like, I can't log into obviously I can undo the settings, but I'm like, wow, this is actually how much time I'm spending peering into other people's lives and what other people are doing. What am I doing? Like, let me focus on me.
Yeah, this is it. It's hard though, isn't it? It's hard when your job is to be online. And I find that as well sometimes and at the moment I'm trying to gain more traction on TikTok. And so, I find myself on TikTok in the mornings and the evenings, and like my boyfriend's like, "Are you on TikTok again?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm like,
but
I'm
it's
trying
research.
to do it for work. But then, and then you kind of fall into that trap. So I think, taking some mental space from that is really good. And also the comparison as well. And there is so much information about what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing, what you should look like. And, even for like new mums and what's a good mum and a bad mum and all this silly stuff that you can kind of get you can kind of fall into a well of it all, can't you?
Absolutely.
So it's good that you're prioritizing that. So do you use an app to
So there's a setting on my phone where it's just like digital. It's actually called like digital wellness, and you can select certain apps that you might be spending too much time on, or you think you are, and say, okay, 2 hours every day. It used to be an hour and a half, but I've given myself half an hour back because I was always running into it, and I was like, look, okay, 2 hours is where I'm starting, and hopefully I can wind it back. I've got a friend who gave up Instagram maybe 2 years ago. Wow. And she hasn't gone back, and I'm like, those are 2 hours in the day that you're doing something else. And what could I be doing in that time? And it's not necessarily that she's, well, to be fair, she did a PhD in the time. So I'm like, okay, she did do stuff with that time off. But I'm like, what could I be doing if I wasn't just looking at Instagram, giggling at this reel and like being angry about something else that happened? I'm like, okay, maybe I should wind it back a little.
Yeah, it's good. And it does mean that, when I speak to people about, in terms of fitness and all those kind of things, it's once that part of your brain has been freed up, like you say, there's so much more that you can do. So once you've accomplished something, or once you've kind of taken that element away, then it's like, okay, I've got so much more brain space now, and I can actually move into doing other things.
Yeah.
When you because obviously you're freelance now, how does that work in terms of acquiring work? Do publications approach you, or do you, because you said that you kind of look for things to kind of report on or to kind of work in, so how does it work in terms of, so like you went to Glastonbury I think last year and this year, was it? And did some work in terms of reporting back on it, was it last year? And did they get in touch with you, or did you get in touch with them to kind of
so last year when I did some Glastonbury feedback, that was for Sky News, and I'd done some kind of reporting and kind of comment for them before, and they got in touch with me when they heard I was going, and were like, yeah, tell us what's going on. And that was really fun. It's always nice when people get in contact, and I think the benefit of having been around in journalism for soon to be 11 years is that I guess your name is in rooms that you don't really know about. I wasn't aware I had any contacts at Sky News until they literally messaged me.
Really?
I was like, oh my gosh, hello.
That's
so
really interesting
so it is a matter of kind of putting yourself out there and being open to opportunities. But freelancing is very much the more you go for, the more you'll get as well. So sometimes I feel like I can fall into the trap of being like, okay, we'll see who reaches out to me, blah blah blah. But I feel like because it's summer, maybe I'm in my kind of laid back spirit, but once we'll get more into autumn, I think that'll be time to really knuckle down and go after some more opportunities. So it's a balance of both.
Yeah, definitely. It's nice to hear that as well. And I think it's interesting that you had done work with Sky before, but it wasn't that you thought, okay, yeah, I've got contacts there, but they got in contact with you. They were like, yeah, she's one of our contacts, so we're going to hit her up to talk about Glastonbury.
Yeah, and to be honest, I probably should be the one who's like, hey guys, do you want me to do more? But I don't know. I think the thing is, freelancing is all about who has the go-getter spirit. And it's not that I don't, but sometimes I feel like maybe I act like I'm shy, or I'm just like, oh no, I don't want to, or I don't want to be seen as going for it. But I'm like, the people who go for it are the ones who win.
Yeah, it's true. And also it's only been a year really this time round. And so I guess that confidence will come in terms of like you do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Will get there for sure. But how was Glastonbury? this year. And last year was the only thing I remember about last year was Shania Twain, because my mate went and she said that they all wearing like leopard print.
Leopard print and cowboy hats.
And then who was it this year that was headlining?
So this year's headliners, SZA was last year. She was she was fun. This year was 1975 was on the Pyramid stage. I went to see Shy Girl instead, and that was like a great kind of ravey time. Saturday was Charlie XCX.
Oh, okay.
Super fun. Loved seeing Jade as well. And then Sunday, you had Nile Rodgers. He's always kicking about.
Yeah. Is he Chic?
Nile Rodgers and Chic. That was really fun.
Yeah.
And I love when you go to festivals and you kind of figure out how many songs you didn't know you knew from a certain artist and how many songs he'd worked on. So that was great. And Olivia Rodrigo. But there was, I love Glastonbury because I feel like it really is one that you have to go to really know.
I love festivals, but I just don't. My thing is that I just can't be dirty for that long. That's what I always say.
So
I can't do it.
The hack for that. So last time I went as just completely general admission. We put up our own tents and we made the use of wet wipes for the whole 5 days we were there. Because the queues for showers are just impossible and difficult to find, and probably like a 25-minute walk away from your tent as well. So it's just kind of like, I just want to start the day.
By the time you get back, you're dirty.
I know. It's just, but this year I was in the pre-erected camping area, which, no, it was expensive. It definitely does add on to your experience, but there was only a 5-minute walk from the car park to where your tent was, compared to 50 minutes with everything on your back last year. I was like, that alone is worth the extra like 200, 300 pounds.
Did you put some tips up about Glastonbury?
I think so. Yes, I need to make sure that for next Glastonbury I republished all that, because like I feel I did so much research about what to bring and what not to bring, but until you've actually done it, you actually know how to play it. So I would definitely recommend.
Okay, I think, I mean, there's so many different things that go on, isn't there? So I'm like, the lineup has to be perfect. I don't know why I'm saying that. I probably wouldn't even get a ticket.
That's the thing, because you never know what the lineup's going to be before you buy your ticket.
And it's not next year, is it?
No, fallow year, to let the ground heal from, there's several hundreds of thousands of footsteps that have been there. But also, sorry, my point about pre-erected camping, you get access to showers. So I stayed lovely. I had a lovely shower, and I say lovely, it was just your typical like showers that you get in a swimming pool or whatever. But in that context, it feels like the most glorious, most luxurious shower of your life.
I can imagine.
Yeah, just getting like the mud kind of particles off you. You're ready to start the day. So try again.
Well, this is the thing. I need to kind of put my thinking cap on and try and get tickets. So how do you get tickets? Do you have like a special link?
No, not even.
Did you get them like going online on the?
Like pure luck. I tried 4 times before unsuccessfully, but just in 2023, when we got our 2024 tickets, just randomly on my laptop we just saw a completely different link, because sometimes it's just like that loading screen of dread, and then it's like enter, and it's like guys I got the enter button, oh my god. But last time around my friend got it, and then we'll see what happens for the next time. But it's all a lottery.
It is. And so in terms of what's coming up, so you do some TV reviews. I've seen some of those, some theatre reviews as well. I think we actually started talking about Slave Play when it was on.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
That was last year.
Last summer,
I think we started talking about that and the review. I think you did like a real review on something on Instagram, I think. But what have you got coming up in terms of things that you're going to actively go and investigate and then report back on? Is there anything that you're kind of...
so that's kind of in what I'm figuring out right now. I'm very much in my discovery era for late summer, autumn. Yeah, I went to see the Book of Mormon earlier this week.
I saw that on your story.
Yeah.
How did you find it?
So it was an interesting one because it's one I've been primed not to enjoy for many years, because everyone's like, oh my God, it's so offensive, it's so racist, it's going to get you back up. And so I kind of went in with this, okay, what am I to see? And there were several moments that shocked me completely, but it's not like I've not seen satire before. Like, I can handle it. I enjoyed a lot of it. I think as a musical, it was very well done. There's a reason that it's been running for so long. I feel like this kind of South Park vibe isn't necessarily my brand of humor. And there were elements that I didn't completely love. And it's difficult because you have to think about the time that it came out of. So that era was, late Obama term. There was still an element of like hope, I guess, in the air, and like things were feeling good. But yeah, if it would come out today, I think it would have a much harder time getting people on board.
I think because camps are very split now, whereas I think at that time there's a lot I think there's too much going on at this point in time to bring that in as a fresh thing. You kind of go to see it because it's been in the West End for such a long time. I think it's still on Broadway.
Maybe, probably.
And it's great skill. It's a really well crafted musical. Definitely. I'm saying it like I've seen it. I've not seen it. I've auditioned for it a few times.
Oh wow.
But I know I've not been in it and I've not seen it, but in terms of the music and the way that the choreography and everything is beautiful. But so seeing more musicals, so more theatre. Yeah. So have you got anything theatre-wise on the agenda for the next few months? Not to see necessarily, but as a hobby, I do musical theatre. Yes.
So I recently got cast as Laurel in Dreamgirls with CDOS, which is a central London non-professional company who does several shows a year. And that was really great news because I love Dreamgirls, have been obsessed with it ever since I watched it for the first time on probably like a dodgy DVD that my dad got from the barbers. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love this musical. I wonder if it will ever get to come around. I think I saw it 5 times when it was in the West End. Yeah, loved it. And the fact that I'm able to get into this cast is really exciting. Yeah, that'll be in November in central London.
So when did you start working? So the company, you said it was CDOS?
CDOS, yeah.
So when, because you've done a few productions with them.
Yeah.
So when did you kind of decide that was something you wanted to pursue? Alongside obviously your career that you when was that?
So that also started pretty much a decade ago. So funnily enough, when I finished my internship at the Telegraph, I was looking around for my next kind of job in journalism, and it was the first time since graduating that I was kind of at home and not doing something. And so my mum was kind of like, you need to get up and do something, and I was just like, oh, I'm trying. She happened to see in, I think it was the Croydon Advertiser, an advert that was like, production of Sister Act at the Fairfield Halls in a couple of months' time. She's like, this will be fun. Why didn't you audition for this? And I was like, oh yeah, okay. Because I'd done shows here and there during uni and loved drama, all things plays at school. So I auditioned for that, and they were like, why don't you audition for the lead role in that? And I had never done a show of that scale before, so I kind of was like, okay. Ended up getting the Whoopi Goldberg role of Dolores, and that was kind of just the first taste. I was like, oh my gosh, so you can do this alongside having a writing job as well. So yeah, those tend to be about 3 months of rehearsals before you perform, and I basically did that in 2015 for the first time, and then haven't really stopped. I've jumped around to lots of different companies. So Sister Act was with Croydon Stages, and then there's been other roles. There was a company called Festoon, with which I did Rent and Bonnie and Clyde and Legally Blonde. And then with CDOS I've done Ragtime. I did The Colour Purple last winter, and then Dreamgirls.
Amazing.
So yeah, it's a bunch of people who have other jobs. Some are, teachers, pharmacists, all sorts. But they just all really love musical theatre, and some have pursued it in the past professionally and have ducked out. But yeah, we have a fun time, but everybody is really serious about putting on a good show.
That's great. And it's nice that you've made time for that. And I think that is a form of wellness as well, because it's, you have your career and it's something else that you take really seriously and you put a lot of time and effort into, and around similar people that are doing the same thing. I think that is, I was going to ask you as well, did you do a lot of kind of performing arts like when you were growing up?
Yeah, here and there. Yeah, so at school I, did drama GCSE, and back in primary school loved every drama class we got to do. I didn't do anything kind of stage coachy. I think I did 1 or 2 classes, but I think the realities of being one of 4 kids in my parents' home is just like the money can't stretch for everyone to do every hobby. But wherever I could, I would get involved in plays. Always loved musicals. The first one I saw was Fame. That's my
first musical I saw.
Oh wow, maybe it was the same production. But yeah,
really interesting. In West End.
Yeah.
My dad took me to see that, and I was like, right,
I know,
this is what I want to do. Much to his dismay, but yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, so I saw that and I was like, oh my god, it's just so cool. And then like in year maybe 9 or 10, I saw Wicked for the first time, and I was like, oh my god, I'm a changed person. I think if I'd known the pathways of what to do and what it took to be a stage actor, maybe I would have pursued that a bit further. But it's not that I had a clear path to be a journalist either, but it just seemed like the smarter decision to go towards something where it's kind of like, okay, you do a degree that's to do with kind of writing and reading, and then you'll get an internship, and that seemed to work. So
yeah, and I think it's great that you've made room for that as well, alongside your career, which I think a lot of the time it can be quite tricky, and we let go of the things that we enjoyed as when we were younger. And I think that is a sense of wellness, and I think a lot of people, especially when they get stressed and tired and like energy levels and mind kind of going, when there's so much going on with work and family and relationship or whatever, I think that is a really nice thing to be able to draw back on, like, what did I enjoy as a kid? Like, what did I like to do? What relaxed me? Yeah. And, for people, it's a variety of different things. So it's great that you're still managing to do that. Yeah. Strong question. Where do you see yourself at the end of the year?
Oh, well, at the end of the year, I hope to have made myself proud in Dreamgirls. So that would have been complete by then. And yeah, I hope to really look back on that experience as something that, makes me feel really good about myself. Yeah. I hope to have gotten a good few commissions more under my belt. I've had the opportunity to write for a bunch of different places. Don't know if it's, bad luck to say exactly where I would like to write for, but hoping to get some of those out by the end of the year. And I hope to keep up with kind of running and my samba dancing and all those kinds of things. Yeah. Okay. So I only started doing that in March. Again, one of my Instagram scrolls led me to finding Nana Crawford, and I think her brand is called Jiggle Fit, and it's all about kind of dance and confidence and things like that. And it was in Croydon, so I was like, okay, great, let me jump on board. And loved it ever since I started from then. And so I hope to continue with that, and just end the year feeling really positive and motivated for the next year.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. And I think you've got, from the sounds of things, you've got lots of a very rich and warm life, and lots of different elements and lots of different things that you can kind of delve into at different times, whilst making a beeline for keeping your career going strong as well, you know. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast. It's been lovely to have you.
So lovely talking.
Yeah, it's been nice to have a little chat. And yeah, it's always nice for everyone to see, you know, how different people prioritize their health and their fitness. And it doesn't have to look one specific way. It can look for a variety of ways. And also there's times where, like you said, at the moment with your career, you're like, okay, I can do a 5K, I can do I can go out for little short bursts to run. And then there might be a time maybe towards the end of the year, or maybe at the end of autumn, where you're like, oh, actually, I have the scope to go and do a 10K. And that is completely fine. You know? And I think that that's really important to know. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Nicole.
Thanks. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Everything You podcast. Please make sure that if you enjoyed this episode, you can subscribe and like, and also follow along for more podcast episodes and more guests talking about all things wellness, health, and fitness.